Welcome everyone to the Thunder Buddies podcast, your source for all things Thunder basketball, courtesy of the Oklahoman. My name is Justin Martinez, and today I'm joined once again by our columnist Joe Mussatto. Joe, how you doing today, man?
You've got the right hat on. I just noticed this. We've got like rival National League teams, but you're out in LA, Justin. So you're just blending right in, I guess.
That's the goal. We got the LA hat, we got the NBA hoodie and stuff ready
Nice.
for
I
All
like
Star.
that.
I appreciate it. Ready for All Star weekend. Actually, I flew out here after the Phoenix game, so I missed the Milwaukee game where you were at. So we're gonna get into a lot of stuff happened at that game. There was very interesting, kind of outside of the final score. The final score was a little bit whatever, but there was a lot of cool storylines. We're gonna get into Nikola Topic's NBA debut. Usman Jang's return to OKC. We'll talk about Jalen Williams' injury, the latest on him, and then we will give some predictions for All-Star events, which Joe, I know you are looking forward to greatly. The skills challenge, you and Mark are looking forward to that very much so. So
Yeah, j just as long as you remind me who's in all of these events, then I'll give my prediction.
you don't know the G League team on the Rising Stars
No,
challenge by
I
heart?
learned that one of the guys in the dunk contest, Keyshawn Johnson, I think I hope I'm getting his name right. He was just in Oklahoma City for a G League game, and now he's in the slam dunk contest. This is great.
There you go. Well, we're gonna get into all of that. Let's go ahead and not waste any time. OKC, its most recent game, as we mentioned, was a 110-93 home loss to the Milwaukee Bucks on Thursday, and it was all Bucks really. I mean, just it seemed like everything was working out for Milwaukee, and the guy kind of leading the way was Usman Jang. In his return, obviously, he's a guy who had gotten traded from OKC at the trade deadline, went from Charlotte to Chicago to Milwaukee. And he ended up having himself a game, recorded 19 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, and 4 blocks in 36 minutes against his former team. Joe, what did you think about just Usman's performance in his return to OKC?
Well, I thought it was, we'll get to the other later, but one
Mhm.
of two really feel good stories on a night where like the game was otherwise blah. Like it was a real 1, 2, 3 Cancun moment for the Thunder in this one with the way they played defense. But I don't want to take anything away from Ousmane Dieng. He played legitimate good basketball. This was the best game of his career, and to do it shortly after you're traded away. And to do it in Oklahoma City, where you spent the first 3+ years of your NBA career, first double double. He had a career high in rebounds, in blocks. Um, he was awesome. So you could tell that yeah, the loss stunk, but I asked Mark Daignault after the game and about Oos and Jay Will. Jay Will gave me a great quote. He was just like, that was my little brother for 3 years here, and we had a locker next to each other the whole time, so he couldn't help but crack a smile. I mean, Jay Will's always smiling, but yeah, they're happy for Oos that he did this, in Oklahoma City, and Oos was having some fun with it too.
Yeah, I mean, even just during the game, you could see like I think he had that step back three over Aaron Wiggins, and even
Hmm.
Wiggs was like smiling and they're on their way back up the floor. Like, just cool to see a guy who obviously, OKC just wasn't the best fit after all for him. They ended up being too competitive, too fast. He was a guy who was going to need some time to develop. Didn't really get a chance to get some minutes as the team got really competitive. But it's a versatile forward. I mean, he's shown that he can impact the game on both ends of the floor in flashes. We'll see if he can put it together consistently, and especially while Giannis is out, while the team is probably looking to lose some games the rest of the season, he should be able to have a pretty decent sized role there with the Bucks. He actually had a big game against Orlando before that OKC game, so now it's 2 games in a row where he's really gotten it going. So we'll see if he's able to continue that. But Joe, the big storyline heading into this game, the biggest one was the somewhat surprising. We didn't know it was going to happen until the day of, but Nikola Topic making his NBA debut. Now, we knew that he had been ramping up. This is a guy who was the 12th overall pick in 2024, missed all of last season due to a partially torn ACL in his left knee. Worked his way back. He played in Summer League, played in OKC's preseason opener in Charlotte, or against Charlotte, I should say. And then unfortunately was diagnosed with testicular cancer. He completed chemotherapy. this past or sorry in December, and then was ramping up with the G League this past week. You were actually at his first G League game. So I guess let's just go ahead and start there. We can backtrack a little bit. Ramping up as we mentioned, but just how cool was it to see that for him to be able to start that ramp up to the NBA?
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad I got to see this at like two different levels because, obviously there's not very many people at a G League game, but when he checks in, because he didn't start in that game, he gets a standing ovation from the G League crowd, and then he comes right back and has another great game, and then all of a sudden it's like, wait, he's like off the injury report entirely. He's going to play tonight in an NBA game. Um, it's just such a remarkable story, uh, however you want to look at it. Just a guy who, was drafted almost 600 days ago and missed all of last season with that ACL, like you said, and now overcoming cancer. Like his hair's still growing back from chemotherapy, and he's out there playing in an NBA game. It's really remarkable. Um, whatever he does on the court doesn't really matter. I think through the rest of the season, Mark Daigneault said after the game they're not judging his performance at all. He's basically just, um, he said if his, athleticism normal baseline is at like a 10. He's not even close to that now. But, again, none of this really matters. It was cool that he had an assist 17 seconds into checking in. That's obviously his hallmark is as a passer, did hit a mid-range jump shot. But just the ovation for him. He you tapped his heart as he was inbounding the ball to Aaron Wiggins to start. It was a really cool story. Like I wish the game would have been a little bit different because it's not like it got lost. It's still the story of the night, but it's weird to talk about this like, bad loss in conjunction with Topic's return. I also wish, Justin, sorry I'm going long here, that he was set to check in by himself at the scorer's table. And then, this weird like mini skirmish happens. Then Mark Daigneault calls a timeout. And then he comes back on the floor after the timeout and he still got a huge ovation. So it wouldn't have changed that. I just wish he could have like checked in from the scores table
Because it
like by
wasn't announced,
himself.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
but
that would have been nice.
anyway, cool story.
Very cool story. And as you mentioned, the stats don't really matter, but for those who are looking to see what he did, he had 2 points and one assist in 12 minutes. Um, the good thing in this is that, there's not going to be any pressure, obviously. I mean, even if OKC did need bodies, which they kind of do right now, they're not going to pressure him to contribute
Yeah.
right away. But there is even less pressure in the sense that they've got guard play. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is expected to be back at some point past the All-Star break. He's been out with an abdominal strain. AJ Mitchell is also out with that, but like they brought in Jared McCain. He's been playing really well. They've obviously got Cason Wallace in the backcourt too. So like I think we're going to see Topic get some spot minutes as he kind of works his way back in this season. Next season we'll see if he's able to really carve out a role. But I mean there really is no pressure for him to come in and compete. This is a team that's already has the best record in the league since he's been out. They won a championship last season, so he'll be able to sort of work his way back in there at his own pace, which is good. And like you said, I think the playmaking is already there. Obviously, conditioning is going to be a thing. The shot was already something he was going to have to work on, but I think as soon as he is able to get into games, we're going to see that playmaking. And OKC could definitely use that. So that was good to see.
You, yeah,
Um,
you got to see it more in the G League, just
mhm.
given the opportunity, but he really is. They basically drafted Nikola Topic to be what they wanted Josh Giddey to be, and that's a guy who can run the second unit, come off the bench. Obviously, Giddey at this point in his career didn't want that role, and understandably so, because he's only blossomed even more in Chicago. But their games, I think, are eerily similar. I mean, just the flair in which they pass the ball. It's just like you got to keep your head on a swivel, or it's going to wind up in your face. Um, they're both questionable 3-point shooters. Giddy's gotten better. Topic actually hit some threes in one of the G League games. Defense, I think it's a huge question. Um, Giddy has helped a little bit by being bigger. You know, he's 6'8", 6'9". Topic is listed, I think it's 6'6", but that might be a little bit of a stretch. But this is the Thunder like loved Josh Giddy, and I know some people have trouble understanding that because of how it ended with, you know, him being benched in the playoffs. But this is a skill set that they've been interested in before, and I think, I mean, if Nikola Topic becomes what Josh Giddey was even here, that's a huge win for a guy who was picked 12th overall.
Yeah, I think to your point, like you mentioned, I don't think there was really anything wrong with Giddy's fit. It wasn't going to be in that starting role that
Exactly.
Giddy wanted. I think if he would have committed to coming off the bench the next season, I don't think OKC makes that trade. I mean, maybe they were looking for Alex Caruso either way. We obviously saw his impact. We have seen it, but like I think they were perfectly fine with him being that guy to run the second unit. It's just like you mentioned, very early in Josh's career. This is a guy who came into the league with expectations of being sort of a real cornerstone piece to a franchise. So that was kind of something that he struggled to accept there. But like, yeah, if that's something Topic is willing to embrace, I definitely think he can handle that role. The backcourt minutes are going to be crowded, especially now with Jerry McCain, who has been playing really well since he joined the team. He looks like he could be a long term piece. So I'm really interested to see how that whole backcourt situation plays out moving forward. That to me is going to be interesting. But one guy who wasn't able to play against Milwaukee yesterday was Jalen Williams. Now, he actually was having himself quite a game against Phoenix the night before. It was a road game against the Suns, a homecoming game for J-Dub, who spent most of his childhood in Arizona. He had 28 points. He had made his first 11 shots. And then late in the third quarter, he sustained a right hamstring strain, which he had actually suffered recently. He missed 10 games, came back for a short stretch, and then seemed to re-aggravate it there. And we've been told per Thunder PR that he will be reevaluated after the All-Star break. Kind of no surprise there. There was no reason to play him on the second night of a back-to-back. We figured he's going to get that game against Milwaukee off, and then we'll see how much time he misses. But just another tough setback for J Dub, who obviously has had multiple injuries this season. He, played through that torn ligament in his right shooting wrist last playoffs, ended up having surgery, ended up having another surgery during this season, missed the first 19 games, was finding his offensive rhythm before he had that hamstring strain the first time around, would sideline him for 10 games. So we'll see when he returns, but just a tough break for a guy who seems like he's been finding a rhythm when he is on the floor. I think he's finding his spots better, getting to the rim better. But this is another thing he's gonna have to work through.
Yeah, it was kind of cruel that in his first two games back, we got reminders of both of his injuries because obviously he grabs his wrist uh, in that game against the Lakers when it looked like Aiton had like swiped it, but really he was just trying to create separation, and then obviously goes out with the hamstring strain. Um, and it's just like, man, this guy can't catch a break. I will say, I mean, J-Dub's usually pretty bubbly, but he was in very good spirits in the locker room last night. You hope that, I don't know, I don't want to read too much into his like reaction, but obviously it didn't seem to be as severe the second time as it was the first time. Maybe he just knew he tweaked it a little bit, and was like, "Yep, that's it for me," and he knew it right away. But yeah, I think the problem with both of these injuries is that they seem to be lingering, and that's natural with hamstring strains, obviously. And the wrist has been a constant issue. I mean, we've been told that it's more of a pain tolerance type thing. Um, but I there's still a couple months before the playoffs, Justin. But I think Thunder fans maybe should start preparing themselves for, yeah, like J-Dub's just not going to be 100% going into the postseason, probably. The good news is he was playing with this wrist thing last playoffs, and I don't know if people realize this, but the run ended pretty good, and with J-Dub atop a bus going through Oklahoma City, so maybe it can be done again, but just kind of a lost season for J-Dub.
Yeah, to your point, when he first suffered the hamstring strain against Phoenix, it you could see the frustration on his face. So I think then it was a little bit concerning. I mean, he went over to the bench, he kicked a seat so hard that a cushion went flying, and then went into the
You got
tunnel.
to be
So
careful with that. You could have like the Cantor situation where he slapped the chair and broke his arm.
right, right. So in that immediate moment, that made me feel like, okay, this I think he can tell that this is a little bit serious. But unlike the first time around, which was against Miami, middle of last month, as soon as the game was over against Miami, he was on Instagram posting some photos where you could really tell that he was frustrated. It seemed like he knew it was going to be an injury that would sideline him for a bit. That wasn't the case this time around. He seemed to be in pretty good spirits. Talking to Mark after that game, Mark was just pretty much talking about how great this homecoming trip was for Dub. Like he didn't seem too overly concerned either. Not like Mark would probably tell us much of an update, but it didn't seem like it was as serious as he mentioned. So in that sense, that is good. And also another silver lining, if you want to find something here, is after that which game was it? The Lakers game. Dub was asked about how his wrist felt, and he had said that those 10 games that he missed with that hamstring strain actually really allowed him to get some rest with his wrist. And he said it was the best that it's felt. So now he's going to get some more time to rest that wrist again. He's going to have at least until the end of the All-Star break, which OKC next plays on the 20th. So that alone is going to give him another week. We'll see if he misses any more time after that. But the expectation would be that his wrist would feel even better by then. So that in itself is some good news. And there's other guys on this OKC team that could definitely use some rest. As we mentioned earlier, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has been out with an abdominal strain. OKC said that he'll be out through the All-Star break. We'll see when he returns. AJ Mitchell also dealing with the same injury. He's been out for the last 10 or 11 games. So we'll see when they're able to come back. But talking about this All-Star game, Joe, we've got a whole
Now,
list
now
of
we get to
events
the
here.
real stuff.
Yeah, now we get into the hard-hitting journalism here. We've got all the events. I'm gonna go ahead and run through them. I will give you the participants. So I know you already
Thank
know
you.
them, but yeah, but I'll give you
I wouldn't be so sure, but hopefully, here we
yeah,
go.
yeah. And then we're gonna go to just give our quick thoughts, predictions on who's gonna win these things. So let's get started. First off, we got the Rising Stars little mini tournament that they have going on starting today at 8 p.m. Central Time. This is something AJ Mitchell was supposed to be in. He ended up getting ruled out because of his current injury that we talked about. We've got four teams here. We're gonna start off with Team Carmelo Anthony. And I'm gonna go ahead and just give like the projected starters and then just their bench guys, and that way you get a sense of like what the team might look like. So I would
Hmm.
imagine it's gonna be Jeremiah Fears, Stephon Castle, Ace Bailey, Colin Murray Boyles, and Donovan Clingan. Off the bench, you got Reed Shepard and Dylan Harper is the team that Cooper Flagg was supposed to headline, but he is out. So definitely a big hit there, but still a pretty good squad. What are kind of your first impressions on that squad? Impressed? Anything movie there?
Uh, Klingon put up a crazy stat line last night. I don't know if you saw this, but I've got him on one of my fantasy teams. But anyway, yeah, I like him, I guess.
That and Stephon Castle, that's a good duo. I could see that doing some damage. Ace Bailey can put up some points. Colin Murray Boyle's a nice defender. Next up, we got Team Tracy McGrady. They've got Bub Carrington, Trey Johnson, Con Knipple, Jalen Tyson, and Khalil Ware. Off the bench is Cam Spencer and Zachary Richichet. This is the team AJ Mitchell was supposed to be on. He's out, so Bub Carrington replacing him at the one. Definitely a tough loss for Team McGrady. Con Knipple, that's a good name. You've got Jalen Tyson's been playing really well this season for the Cavs. Khalil Ware, we'll see what he could do. I mean, he's looked pretty good when he does get his stretches with Miami. Not too bad of a squad, I think.
Yeah, heck, Cam Spencer's been good too. But yeah, breakout season for Tyson.
Hmm.
And Knipple is gonna finish top three for sure in Rookie of the Year.
Yeah. And then the last team of NBA players, we got that G League team, but the last NBA team is Team Vince Carter. They have Jaeger Demon, VJ Edgecombe, Modest Buzelis, Keyshawn George, and Derek Queen. Off the bench is Cedric Coward and Jalen Wells. This is the only NBA team here that doesn't have injuries. So this team is at full strength. I don't know about you, but to me, this looks like the best team by a pretty wide margin. Jaeger Demon's been playing really well lately. Obviously, VJ Edgecombe got out to a really hot start to this season and sustained that. You've got Keyshawn George, versatile defender, Derek Queen at the five, Cedric Howard and Jalen Wells off the bench. That to me looks like a pretty good squad, I think.
Well, I'm upset that you said that because this is my pick,
Yeah,
Justin. This is my
yeah.
pick.
This
Cedric
team,
Coward's not going to mess around, man. He's going to be out to play.
yeah, I wasn't sure if I should put him in at a starting spot, but like they kind of need the point with Demon and then VJ Edgecombe. I think it
Yeah.
might be hard to start him over. Maybe you put him at the three over Modest. He's not the tallest though. Cedric is. I think he's like 6'4", 6'5". But either way, they've got options. That's a really good team. But there's still the G League team, Joe. There's still the G League team. We've got this is I'm
You know
expect
who's starting?
I had to do a little bit of research. I think this is what it'll be, but obviously I'm not as yeah, I'm not Rylan Styles, I don't know all the G League ins and outs. So I gave my best here, but we've got Elijah Martin out of what he went from Florida Atlantic right to where did he go at? I'm showing my lack of college hoops
Did he
knowledge.
follow Dusty May to Michigan?
No, he was a part of like a Final Four team or something, or maybe a championship team.
Oh gosh,
This
now
is
I feel
bad.
like an idiot.
Yeah, I had started my sentence saying he's a guy from because I thought I knew it, but then I blanked on it. But you've got Elijah Martin, Tristan Uden out of UConn. I do know that one. Ron Harper Jr., Yannick Conan Niederhauser, and Yang Hansen. And then off the bench, you got Jameer Young and Sean East the second. Mac McClung and David Jones Garcia were injured. Um, I mean, to their credit, the G League team did win one of these Rising Stars like the mini games, the semifinals games last season. So you never know. It's a team that obviously is going to have a chip on his shoulder, but I think it's fair to say I wouldn't expect them to go all the way in this one.
Apologies to Elijah Martin. He's an NCAA champion,
Right.
Justin,
Okay.
for the Florida Gators.
Florida
You were
Gators.
close. I've never felt more stupid in my life. I'm sorry for not being a ball knower this morning.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
But okay, Florida Atlantic to Florida, right? He stayed in state. That's
you
what it
nailed
was.
it.
Okay, cool. I knew they made a run. I forgot that it was a championship. So shout out to Elijah Martin. He has been hooping with Toronto's G League team Rappers 905. So that's cool to see. But yeah, the semifinals is going to be that G League team versus Team Carmelo Anthony. That's the Stephon Castle, Donovan Clingan one. I would expect Team Carmelo Anthony to win that one. What do you think about that?
Uh, yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, and then we got Team Tracy McGrady versus Vince Carter. Uh,
Vince.
yeah, I think Vince Carter's team is gonna have this one. I mean, if they were all healthy, like AJ Mitchell on Team Tracy McGrady, you pair him up with Trey Johnson, Con Knipple, Jalen Tyson, Khalil Ware. That's a pretty good squad. Cooper Flag on Carmelo Anthony's team would be a big addition as well. But yeah, I would expect it to be Team Vince Carter beating Team Carmelo Anthony in the Rising Stars
I'm gonna
championship.
say Matis Buzelis is the Rising Stars MVP.
Okay, I like it. I like it. I'm gonna go with I'll go with VJ Edgecombe getting
Hmm.
it the Rising Stars MVP. Next
Is that
up,
something they give out? Do they give out Rising
I
Stars
don't even know
MVP?
actually. We'll give out the award ourselves. We'll just see how that goes. But next up, the next day we have the 3-point contest starting off this trio of events at 4 p.m. Central Time Saturday. We've got the list of contestants here. We got Devin Booker, Con Knipple, Tyrese Maxey, Donovan Mitchell, Jamal Murray, Bobby Portis, Norman Powell, and Damian Lillard. Dame Dollar, who has not played yet this entire season. He's going to be out this entire year with a torn Achilles that he suffered last season. But he's in a 3-point contest, which is pretty crazy. Definitely a surprise. Definitely a first, I would imagine. What do you think about this 3-point contest? Who really stands out to you here?
Well, I mean, Dame is certainly the best story. I did a double take when I first saw that announced. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to go.
I've got percentages and attempts if you do want any of these, if you want to. if you need some extra background.
Yeah, I don't know if I need that or not, but you can show off for us. I'm gonna go. I'm making my pick already. I'm going with
Uh-huh.
Tyrese Maxey.
Tyrese Maxey, I do have his stats here. 37.9% on 8.8 attempts.
Tough
Difficult.
attempts, lower
Yeah.
percentage, but tough quality of attempts.
Yeah. The contested, the distance of them, but obviously a guy who can get hot. I'm gonna actually go with the best story, one of the best stories I think for this All-Star break. I'm gonna say that Damian Lillard wins it. I mean,
Mm.
he's had time to just work on his shot even more this entire time. I would assume he's not doing 5-on-5s. He's just getting shots up, right? Surely. So I think he's gonna come in and win this thing. I mean, he doesn't have to move around too much. He can just go from station to station, knock them down. I think he had a photo on Instagram or something like a couple weeks ago of like, those the shooting machine with the net, and then it automatically calculates like the makes and misses, that machine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He had that and he posted the photo and it was like, I forget what the percentage was, but it was some ridiculous percentage that he was knocking down. So I'm gonna say Damian Lillard wins this one. You've got Tyrese Maxey. But next up, we got the Shooting Stars Challenge. This is Mark's favorite challenge. He was asked about it a couple days ago, and he said he just didn't know what it was. He'd never heard of it before. He said it's called the All Star Break for a reason, which I thought was a great quote. I don't think he'll be tuning into this, but maybe he will now because Chet Holmgren will be in it. He'll be a part of Team All Star alongside Scotty Barnes and Richard Hamilton. Then we got Team Knicks, which is Jalen Brunson, Allen Houston, and Carl Anthony Towns. We got Team Cameron, which is the Duke boys, Conkinable, Corey Maggette, and Jalen Johnson. And then we got Team Harper, the family team of Dylan Harper, Ron Harper Jr., and their father, Ron Harper Sr. This is the challenge where you go through like the shooting, the passing drills. I think you ended in like a half court shot or whatever. Uh, what do you think about this one? Which team is standing out to you here?
I'm gonna go Team Knicks.
Okay.
Um, that was one of my options, right?
Yes, it was Jalen Brunson.
Team Knicks. Yeah,
Yeah.
I used to like Allen Houston. Cat, very skilled group. Um, I got distracted, Justin, because I'm looking at, FanDuel, who obviously sponsors us.
Mhm.
Um, that's a joke. And we're not aligned with the odds on our Rising Stars game. Did you know that?
Really?
Team
Who's?
Team Vince has worse odds than Team Mello and Team T-Mac. How about that? Maybe we should,
I mean,
I was about to say maybe we should, dump some money on Team Vince, but I can't think of a worse idea for us to do.
yeah,
But I don't know. We're
yeah.
Vince is a 2.5 point dog to T-Mac.
I mean, no judgment, but if you're betting on the Rising Stars, I think, yeah, it's not a great sign.
Knipple is the 3 point favorite, followed closely by your guy Dame Dalla.
Okay.
Um, anyway, yeah, I love the Knicks and this shooting stars.
I do as well. I think, big man, you've obviously got a very skilled one with Cat. We know he can knock down shots. Brunson and Houston, yeah, I'm gonna go with them as well. I'm a little bit tempted to go with Team Harper just because they've obviously got the chemistry. It's gonna be just like, you know, seamless there. The father sons duo, I think that'll be cool. But I'm going with Team Knicks. And then ending out the night, we've got the slam dunk contest. We've got San Antonio's Carter Bryant, the Los Angeles Lakers, Jackson Hayes, Miami's Kashad Johnson, as you mentioned, and then Orlando's Jace Richardson. Uh, Joe, do you have the scouting report on any of these guys? Who stands out to you as the best dunker in this one?
Um, no, I don't. Listen, I hope Kashad Johnson. Well, no, I don't hope he wins, but I'm glad you said as you mentioned because the first time I've ever mentioned his name was just a second ago. I am going with Jackson Hayes. I don't love big men in dunk contests, but here's why I'm going Jackson Hayes. He was born in Norman Regional Hospital, so he's an honorary Oklahoman. His
Uh-huh.
dad, Jonathan Hayes, was a coach on Bob Stoops' staff.
I asked for the scouting report. I didn't think you're going to go this far back on the scouting report to birth. That's pretty impressive here.
That's
But
right.
continue.
Back to where it all started.
Yeah.
So he's got some Sooner roots,
Hmm.
and he's obviously a Texas Longhorn.
Hmm.
Shout out to you, Justin.
Yep. Yep.
And yeah, when you got a Red River contestant in it, I'm going with Jackson Hayes.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe he can dunk over the Wizards mascot. Kind of
That would be
mend that.
funny.
That would be kind of like a full circle thing. Like mend that relationship there. That would be nice. But I think he definitely has a chance. He's obviously very athletic. I'm gonna go with Carter Bryant. This is a guy who just like jumps out the gym. Also, had some great dunks at Arizona in college. I'm gonna go with him in this one, but I think it would be between him and Hayes. Jace Richardson, I looked at his dunks. Um, I don't know. I wasn't too impressed. It seemed like a lot of rim grazers. Obviously, I'm sure that he's gonna do the dunk where he wears his father's jersey, and then just does a dunk or something like that. This is gonna be one of those tribute ones. I don't really see him doing too much. Kashad Johnson, he can get up there. He definitely can put you on a poster. I don't know what the creativity level looks like there, but I'm gonna go with Carter Bryant as a slam dunk contest. What are the odds saying for those for
The
those wanting to vote
degenerates.
on this? Yeah, I didn't want to say anything else.
Isn't Jace Richardson in the wrong contest? Like he's supposed to be a shooter, right? I know like Jason Richardson and the
Yeah,
family legacy, but I think he'd have a better chance than the other one.
yeah, yeah.
Um, let's see here. 3-point contest. Sorry, bear with me here, folks.
You're good. You're good.
I actually I don't see it. Maybe they've took it off the board because they don't know any of these people.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I legitimately do not see it, Justin. I apologize.
That's fine. That's fine. I don't think I don't if you really want to look it up that badly, I think people will find it, but I don't think they
How am I
should.
seeing the shooting stars odds but not the dunk contest? Team Next is the favorite, by the way.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Uh let's go ahead and move on to the last event here, and that is the big one, the All-Star game, starting at 4 p.m. Central Time on Sunday. Let's go through the three teams. This is obviously the USA. There's two USA teams, and in the World team, they'll do their round robin tournament, and then they'll have the championship game. Starting off with the Team USA stars, so Team One of Team USA. You've got the projected lineup here. Kind of hard to pick it with so many great players, but this is what I think. Tyrese Maxey, Cade Cunningham, Anthony Edwards, Scotty Barnes, and Chet Holmgren. Off the bench, you've got Devin Booker, Jalen Johnson, and Jalen Duren. Then for Team USA Stripes, you've got Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Brown, LeBron James, so I think we'll get the start, and Kevin Durant. Off the bench, you got Norman Powell, Kawhi Leonard, and Brandon Ingram. This is the team that Steph Curry was supposed to be on. He's now been rolled out, so big loss there. And then you got Team World, where you've got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was supposed to play. He's out. So now it's looking like Luka Doncic, Jamal Murray, Pascal Siakam, Victor Wembanyama, and Nikola Jokic. Off the bench is Denny Avdia, Karl Anthony Towns, and Alperen Sengun. Joe, I just threw a lot of names out at you right there, but what team really stands out to you?
I think the stars, the
The Maxi,
stripes,
Cade, Anthony Edwards, yeah.
the stripes are a little old.
Hmm.
Got a bunch of old guys. World, I don't think that Luka or Jokic are gonna care a rip. Maybe Jamal Murray tries to go off. Maybe Denny Avdia tries to prove himself. But I'm going the stars. You got some young guys. Scotty Barnes, Cade Cunningham. I don't know if Ant's gonna care. Jalen Johnson, first time All Star. Jalen Duren. Jalen Duren's playing, right?
Yes, he's playing.
Yeah, he's gonna be chippy, gonna
Hmm.
be fighting. I'm going USA Stars.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with them as well. Stripes, the age I don't even think is too much of a problem. I think it's just the fact that they don't really have a center at all. So like, who's matching up
Justin,
with?
it doesn't matter that they don't have a
It's gonna
center.
be competitive this year, Joe. Haven't you heard? That's what they're
The
saying.
the Stripes are a 2.5 point favorite.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like even if they're not playing super competitively, someone's got to guard Chet and Jalen Duren on that Stars team. I think that might be a little bit tough. I'm going to go with the Stars. I agree with you. I think the World team probably has enough talent to win, but I don't know. I don't see them taking this too seriously with Jokic and Luka, like you mentioned. So I'm going to go with Team Stars winning that one. And that is it for this All Star stuff. Joe, as you know very well, I do not pay for the pro version of Zoom. It says we have a minute left in this recording.
Oh gosh.
But I think that's gonna do it. So, Joe, I appreciate you. Normally, I would ask for your words of wisdom. Anything, just real
We don't
quick
have
here.
time. We don't have time for my wisdom.
We'll get some words of wisdom from Joe next episode. But we'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much. Have a good one.